You're watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. It's a case for vitamin and mineral supplements. With us, we have the author of the Vitamin Bible, Earl Mindell. Earl Mindell, welcome to the program. I should say Dr. Mindell, you have a PhD. Also, you're a pharmacist.
Correct.
Now, for people that don't know you, your books are in every bookstore in America.
On the
How
web,
many of them?
I've got 55. I'm working on 4 right now. Well, actually, one's an update, so it'll be about 58 by the end of next year.
Okay, so you have the Vitamin Bible. How many times has that been revised?
6 times.
6 times.
33 years.
The Herb Bible.
Yep.
Who should read this, by the way, the Herb
Well,
Bible?
you know, it's interesting. We hear about herbs. We know very little about it. Yet, herbs were, before the Second World War, of course, herbs were a very big factor. And there's some interesting herbs, like, for instance, cayenne pepper, turmeric. People are hearing more about turmeric. It's a spice, but it's also an herb that can really help. We think it even has anti-cancer properties.
So Chinese medicine has been around, and I flipped through your
Well,
book.
China's been around a long time.
But they've been around, I mean, their medicine has been around 10,000, 20,000 years, depending on who you talk to, right? Our
5 anyway. 5
our
years.
5,000 years.
Yeah.
Our Western medicine has been around how many years?
Well, pushing it 300-400 years.
Okay, 300-400 years.
Yeah.
And what can we learn from them
Everything.
about vitamins and minerals?
Everything. We can learn that they knew there were things that you took to help this and that that are time honored, and they still are today. For instance, I think one of the other shows we did, we talked about psyllium. Psyllium is basically a plant that helps to lower cholesterol, also helps against constipation. They knew about arnica. Arnica is a plant that helps against bruising. In fact, a lot of the plastic surgeons now are using it before giving it to their patient before an operation. A lot of less black and blue marks.
Okay, so the Vitamin Bible, the Herb Bible, also very interesting. And I think you sent me this, which was the alternative to prescription medications.
Alternatives, yeah.
And since many Americans, millions, how many people are on medications, by the way?
About
Do you
half.
know those stats? Half of America's taking medication.
Adults.
If they read your book and followed your advice, are you convinced with vitamins, minerals, herbs, that you could wean people off these medications? With nutrition as well?
Absolutely. I mean, if we could get people, I'll make a statement right now that's going to shock people. If we get people at a normal weight, 40 to 50% of the cancers that we are afflicted with would not occur.
Okay.
Amazing. And this is, even the American Cancer Society will say that.
The Vitamin Bible, okay. A guy from UCSD here in San Diego, endocrinologist. I think I told you about this on the phone. He had a recent blog, and on his blog, it was a video blog on YouTube, he said that you can get, unless you live in a third world country, you get all your vitamins and minerals from food.
This is a third world country when it comes to
the other thing
nutrition.
He said is, even if you eat junk food, fast food, you'll get all the vitamins and minerals you need. What is your response to that?
Let's see. Mary had a little lamb, and its fleece was white as snow. Nonsense. Right. I mean, come on, the government makes the producers of these junk foods add some nutrients. First, folic acid, one of the B vitamins, was added to many of the foods because so many women had a deficiency would cause a neurotubular defect called spina bifida. Okay. And we also know that if you don't get enough folic acid, it causes a overproduction of a toxic amino acid called homocysteine. So that's not realistic.
So vitamins and the reason why you believe, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, I'm just trying to figure this out, your philosophy here. The reason you need to take vitamins and mineral supplements today is because our soils are deficient or leached?
Soils. I mean,
or is it maybe the environment?
Stress and everything all together. Stress, our environment, our foods. I mean, go into a supermarket. I love supermarkets. Stand by the checkout and see what people are blipping through there. Nothing real. There's nothing real.
You say if it's advertised on television, don't eat it.
Eat, drink, or take it. You ever see anything good on television? No. I mean, hey, have you had your banana today? No, that's not what they're advertising. They're advertising things that are very, very lucrative, that are processed, that they can make a lot of money on. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'm not against a free enterprise system, but you have to realize that, look to the obvious. I once knew a philosopher that's talking that. Look to the obvious. Our diet is killing us. We're not dying of old age. We're dying of degenerative diseases.
Okay.
And I feel that if we were to take better care of ourselves, we would die healthy. Now that sounds funny, but that's not what's happening.
Okay. Now we've talked, so I know a little bit about your philosophy. Lean meats, or,
Yes.
or I should say, like chicken and fish.
There's nothing wrong with
turkey.
If you get
And vegetables.
if you get beef that is not has hormones, antibiotics,
like grass-fed beef.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and vegetables and fruit. So if all you did was eat that, why do you need to take vitamin and mineral supplements? Tell me that.
Okay, have you got a car?
Yeah.
Have you ever made a left turn on an intersection?
Yeah.
A little stress, maybe? You ever watch 11 o'clock news? We live in a stressful society. Our nutrients are needed. Ever drink alcohol?
So more nutrients are needed now than 40, 50 years ago?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, people don't eat anything real anymore.
Can you prove it? Are there tests where somebody could check their nutrients?
Yes. In fact, I'll tell you something. I was involved in a research test in a prison. I wasn't in prison, but we did.
Okay.
People say, oh, you're in prison.
None of my business.
And they started to feed the prisoners a natural diet. It's amazing what happened. They started to become much more relaxed. They weren't as aggressive as they were. Unfortunately, schools and prisons and everything else, they have so much per meal that they will allow, and it's mostly junk. So we're not eating real foods. I mean, everybody tells you that. I mean, even the government says now 5 to 9 servings of vegetables.
We should mention, again, people that are just watching this, he is the author of the Vitamin Bible. It's translated into how many languages?
34.
Okay. You've been on David Letterman, Regis Philbin, Oprah.
CNN,
what do you tell Oprah? I mean, what do people always want to ask the guy that wrote the Vitamin Bible? What do they ask him?
Well, I'll never forget what I did with Oprah. She said, I get so hungry I could eat the microphone. So I said, well, Oprah, do you eat often? She says, no, I starve myself. I said, well, that's the biggest mistake you can make. Because when you don't eat, the brain says, okay, going into starvation mode. And it becomes more efficient at taking the nutrients out. So that's the worst thing you can do to lose weight. Most people don't eat enough, and they don't drink enough water.
But don't you think Oprah tried eating 6 times a day? Don't you think some people hold on to fat better than others?
Yes, but okay. Oprah's tried everything. And, listen, you got to give her credit. She's an amazing lady. She's helped millions of people. And
what was your message to her?
My message to her was exactly, at the time, I remember I was talking about a supplement. I think it was a chromium. And I told her the blood sugar level, you got to keep that nice and smooth so it goes up and down instead of...
But how many times a day do you take chromium?
Twice.
Twice, one in the morning, one...
In between meals.
Oh, in between meals. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So eat about 4 to 6 times a day.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, here's another little thing. People will eat what they see. So I have cut up vegetables in the refrigerator, and that's what I use as a snack.
Is that right?
Celery, broccoli, parsley, carrots, tomatoes. It's wonderful.
And how many supplements do you take a day?
I'm trying to think. Maybe about 24.
About 24 supplements.
I take 12 twice a day.
Could you tell me what they are?
Well, I take a multiple, a chewable multiple, called 10 in 1. I take acidophilus, I take resveratrol, I take, I got to think of all the things I'm taking. I take a EDTA, which is basically precipitates heavy metals.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I take a omega-3 fish oil. I'm going down the list here.
Any special? What about herbs? What herbs do you take?
Well, the vitamin mineral has herbs too.
Do you take St. John's wort, things like that? No.
I'm not depressed.
You're not depressed.
I've never had a problem with depression.
Okay.
Unless I hit a bad golf shot, but.
Other than that, but you do take a lot of supplements every day.
I don't think so. I mean, I know people take a lot more.
But you don't catch colds. I mean, we've talked about it.
I don't.
You don't get the flu?
No.
Migraine headaches?
Nope.
Constipation?
No.
These are regular problems. I know your age.
Yep.
You look great for your age. You act great for your age.
I think people should have at least 2 bowel movements a day.
Okay.
I like that.
what about the stubborn ones that don't want to take supplements? How do you convert them?
You don't.
You don't. You gave up?
I'm not trying to convert anybody. All I do is I give information to people, and then it's up to them. You can't change people. You can give them information. Now, people say, well, people won't change. Not true. We have done a fantastic job in this country of educating people about not smoking. Only 19.2% of Americans smoke now. Now, how did that happen? When I was a kid, everybody smoked. I remember my mother had a little urn on the table with cigarettes. They didn't ask, do you smoke? Everybody smoked. So you can educate people about taking care of themselves. And we should get on a focused thing of wellness. That's what your show's all about, right?
Okay. So you take vitamins. What herbs?
It's a part of the wellness.
But for longevity, what's your longevity? Okay, a good multivitamin, good fish oils, like you say.
Resveratrol, antioxidants.
Antioxidants.
Yes. The superfruits, like pomegranate, acai, goji.
And you like to take these as...
I take it as a complex.
Okay.
The complex.
And this is outlined on your website?
Website of my books, yeah.
Okay.
I don't keep any secrets. And, you know, I'll tell you, it's interesting. People say to me, well, what do you do? I said, hey, I don't keep secrets. I try to give information to people. What they do with it is up to them. You see, we are being bombarded with negative things. Everything's negative.
Okay.
Because that's where the money is. The money is
so what's
getting
the
a
answer
problem.
then? What's
the answer is turn that around. Turn that around. And maybe we should do like everybody knows. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Michelle Obama.
Yes. Bless her. She's finally
What
doing
advice could you give her? Because she's not talking about taking a good multivitamin.
No, but she's saying that everybody should have.
But should kids take a multivitamin?
Absolutely. They know more than anybody. You know what the amount of obesity and diabetes of young people now? And she's saying everybody should have a plot of land to grow vegetable. And I agree with her.
Okay.
It's nothing new.
But kids should take a multivitamin.
Absolutely.
And where do they go? I mean, what kind of multivitamin? Because you don't like Centrum.
Well, I don't want to, knock any particular brand. I read the label, make sure that it says no artificials, color, flavors, preservatives, etc. Read the label. Okay. Also, make sure it has an expiration date. Because I've gone into places where the thing was expired for 6 months and it's still on the shelf.
Okay. Since most people that are taking prescription medications, all of those people would prefer not to take those medications.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
But without taking those medications, they may get sicker and sicker.
Well, here's the thing.
You outline in your prescription book how to get off of those medications.
Here's the thing. I don't think anybody should get off any drug. I don't call it medication. I call it a drug.
Okay.
Because it is a drug. Unless you work with your physician. Because some of these drugs today, if you get off it, all of a sudden, your blood pressure spikes and you're going to have a stroke. But if you'll find that if you drop weight, all of a sudden your blood pressure also drops. Here's people are going to go crazy at this one. Stalk celery about this long. Eat about 5 or 6 a day and your blood pressure will drop naturally.
What vitamins are in celery? You should know this one. You should know this one.
No, it's not a vitamin. In fact, celery has a lot of sodium in it, and yet it still helps to lower the blood pressure. I don't think there's any specific vitamin. It's just that celery itself has a chemical in it, a natural chemical that helps lower blood pressure.
Are more and more doctors, by the way, family practitioners telling people to take multivitamins? I mean, you must hear about that.
It varies.
What frustrates you the most?
Everything. When it comes to this, it bothers me that people don't know what I know.
Really?
It really does, because and my sister and brother-in-law are here from Canada, was born in Canada. She takes 11 drugs and he takes 12.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I said, you should do, well, my doctor, you see, when you get older, you get into what we call a medical vice, where you become almost like childlike, and you give the responsibility of your health to someone else. I think you've got to take the responsibility of your health. So you're
a pharmacist.
Yes.
You're there. You have your brother, sister-in-law over.
My sister, I don't have a brother. Sister and brother-in-law.
Okay. They're over. Do you even attempt to try to say, hey, do you know that maybe we can wean you off?
No, because I've done it for, she's been my sister for 70 years, so I know
There's nothing you can do.
No, she won't.
But are you convinced that you can wean her off everything?
I don't know about everything.
I mean, if she took your advice.
I don't say everything, but I would say out of the 11 things, half of them she's taking it for the side effects of the other drugs.
Okay.
And my mother-in-law was 92, 92. She was taking a cholesterol drug. I said, Mother, what? 90, what are you going to worry about cholesterol at 92? I mean, it's nonsense. But you have to look at it from the practitioner's point of view. If they don't prescribe those things, it's not accepted medical procedure, they could sue you.
Okay, okay.
So it's too bad.
Let's talk about some disease states that could be taken care of with nutrition and vitamins and minerals, okay? Alzheimer's, hot topic. If you catch it early enough, let's say in the 40s, somebody that may have it, do you think you can offset
first of all,
it?
is it dementia or is it Alzheimer's? I think there's a kind of a fuzzy gray area there. I think there are things that you can use that can help bring more circulation to the brain. The ginkgo bilobas, the bacopas, the huperzine A's.
But even though you can't prove it, your own personal feelings, do you think that you can eliminate Alzheimer's?
I don't think you can eliminate it, but I think you can definitely delay it, and I think you can definitely help a lot of cases of dementia, definitely. In fact, I hate to tell you, but some of the drugs that are being prescribed can cause the dementia in the first place.
Somebody told me, or I read somewhere, that a lot of the side effects with medications,
drugs,
are they deplete nutrients.
I just said, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a vicious cycle. The more drugs you take, all the drugs have side effects. Because it's a foreign thing. When you put a drug in your body, the body has to react to it. It's a foreign thing. You put a vitamin in your body, the body accepts it because it's part of the food. So,
do you have an outline, by the way, in your vitamin Bible? I mean, I've skimmed through it. Supplement. I mean, where somebody can say, okay, this is the regimen for longevity.
Yes, at the back of the book,
prevention.
I have for smokers, for drinkers, for golfers. Really? I have individual regimens. Yeah.
Is that right? And you think you're going to you'll live to well over 100?
I don't know. I can't tell you how long I'm going to live. But right now, we're living on the average. The American lives at 78. Probably my lifestyle, I'm probably about 85 to 88 right now.
Okay.
But if I do live to be 116, I'll come back on the show and we'll
all right.
have an
Tell me this. Insomnia. I have a tough time sleeping sometimes.
Easy.
What do you do?
Calcium, magnesium, nature's
Okay.
tranquilizer. Half hour before bedtime, calms you down. Try not to drink caffeinated beverages 3 to 4 hours before. Very important. Tryptophan, melatonin, they're all wonderful things.
What about herbs? Some herbs.
Skullcap, chamomile, hops. They're all wonderful relaxants.
Have you ever met anybody that's willing to take your advice that you haven't been able to get to sleep naturally?
I've had a couple of tough cookies that say, I didn't believe it. I did it for one day. I said, well, of course you can't do it for one day, But if they do it for a regular period of time, they will see results.
You hang out with celebrities, and you've had a lot of celebrity friends over the
I've
years.
had a few.
Okay, hanging out with all the famous comedians. Did these guys do they take vitamins? The most people in Hollywood?
Some didn't. It's a tough life because...
How does a guy like Milton Berle or like, these guys that drink and smoke and George Burns, what's your take on that?
By the way, George Burns had the same birthday as I did. He lived to be 100 or so. Bob Hope. I went up to Bob Hope and he says, I take a vitamin every day and also have a massage every day. I don't like that.
Okay.
So some of them took good care of themselves. In those days, though, back then, when they were in smoke-filled rooms all night, it wasn't very conducive to being healthy.
So they were at disadvantage. Okay. Allergy Bible?
There are so many natural things that you can use for allergies that people don't know about.
What about dust mites? Kids with dust mite issues.
I think you should get a air filter device in the bedroom. Make sure that it destroys all of the dust mites and stuff. People say, well, how do I know if there's dust mites? If the sun comes in and looks like, dust, it's skin. Dust mites live on that dead skin.
Interesting.
So you can I get a cover on the bed sheet on the.
What kind of supplements can you take, by the way, to build the immune system or whatever?
Well, the probiotics are very important. There's things that can help bolster your immune system. But have you ever seen a dust mite through a microscope?
No.
ugliest looking things you've ever seen. And they live on dead human skin, not live, dead.
Okay.
Horrible things.
Asthma could be reversed with supplements?
Well, also asthma, I think, get a one of these air purifiers in the room. Because think about it, for 8 hours, you're going to be in an enclosed area, and if you have asthma, you want to make the air as clean as possible.
Okay, and what about, people with just regular allergy problems throughout the year?
It all depends. If it's indoor or outdoor, most of the allergies are indoor, they're not outdoor. You ever notice if you go into a new construction, they'll use paint and they'll tell you don't come in for 2 days. That new car smell, formaldehyde.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not good.
Interesting.
Smells, people say, oh, I love that smell. It's terrible. I mean, take a look. Also, open up the drawer underneath the kitchen sink and take a look at some of these chemicals that you're using. I think there could be a lot of allergies to that.
Of all your books, and we're out of time, what's your bestseller?
Well, the Vitamin Bible is.
Vitamin Bible?
Yeah.
And it's translated. Where, out of this country, where does it sell the most?
Let's see, England. Then.
Is it big in England?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the Vitamin Bible in England.
Okay.
Japan. I'm real big in Poland too. I got 10 books in Polish. Never been there, but it's very big. Let's see, it just came out in Thai. It's done well in Italy. Germany. Oh yeah. It's funny. We're in Frankfurt, and I went into a bookstore. So you know how they have the books and the title. So my book is under Gesundheit, because Gesundheit means healthy, to your health.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's done real well in Germany.
Okay, so go to your website. They can find out more about you.
Right.
Everybody should be taking a good multivitamin, some fish oils, resveratrol, and chromium picolinate.
I want this country. We're one of the richest countries in the world, and when it comes to health, we're way down the list. We're way down, and there's no reason for it. Take good care of yourself.
They should issue. Are these in schools? Vitamin Bible?
I don't know if they're in schools.
Can you get them in school libraries?
I don't know why not.
Am I the first one that figured this out? That maybe it should be in schools?
Any library I go to has it.
Okay, so libraries have Vitamin Bible. You just don't know if they're in school libraries.
I don't know about school
libraries. Because that may be where it starts. That's good for you.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for coming on the show.
My
Great
pleasure.
info. Great
Be
info.
well.
All right. You've been watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. If you'd like to see this interview again, you go on our website and just put in the Vitamin Bible. You'll find it there, or on our YouTube channel. Just put in the Vitamin Bible. For now, I wish you good health.